What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Courtroom Podcast, DJ's Courtroom Podcast, man. We back with episode 49, man. It's been a long road, man, a long way to go. We almost had 50 episodes, man, and we finna get there, but I want to remind y'all, on the 50th episode, I'm going to have my second guest. I'm not going to tell y'all yet. I'm going to find out who it is. Y'all probably going to some of y'all might know, some of y'all not gonna know, you feel what I'm saying? But after every 50 episodes, that's when the next season is gonna come. So after the 50th episode, season 2 is gonna come. Hopefully I have better equipment. Hopefully I have my green screen up so I can put stuff in my background. Everything is gonna be more upgraded. More things to come, man. We on the road to 100 subscribers on my podcast, and we also on the road to 100 subscribers on my regular YouTube, filmed by Darren. Make sure y'all subscribe over there, and let's get into it, man. Now today we will be talking about all the trade news that's been going around the whole NBA, man. All the trade news. We got, of course, Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis getting traded, man. Luka Doncic to the Lakers, Anthony Davis to the Mavs. We got a few other players that went along with him, but the main trade was Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic. And you already seen that episode. But y'all seen that video of me covering that trade. So I'm not really gonna go into too much of that trade, but I want to talk about it a little bit and how I feel about it. I started to process it and just look at it and understand that both teams really won. The Mavs, they're in a win now situation, and they feel like Luka Doncic wasn't conditioned enough. They feel like he wasn't just prepared to be in shape. They feel like he wasn't a part of the They feel like he wasn't bought in. You feel what I'm saying? He can hoop, of course. He's one of the best players in the NBA right now, but they feel like he wasn't going to be conditioned enough where he was going to keep his body healthy. And Anthony Davis has been healthy for 2 years for the Lakers. And combining Anthony Davis with Kyrie, that's like a Kobe and Shaq type of duo. So why not put them together? And then the Mavs already been doing good without Luka. So imagine adding AD with AD having those centers that he said he feel like he wanted. So AD can play the 4 because you have Daniel Gafford and you have Derek Lively. Even though Derek Lively is injured right now, but when he comes back, he's going to have those centers with him. So they also have Klay Thompson. So they also have shooters. That team is going to be dangerous because it's going to be hard to guard him. You got to guard him in the paint and you got to guard him on the outside. Because Kyrie, how he is finishing in the paint and on the outside. And then you got Klay on the outside. You got AD in the paint. Come on now, man. They might make it to the finals this year. I'm not going to lie. But going with the Lakers side of it, the Lakers basically is looking forward. They're looking at the future. They're looking at who they want to grab this franchise, the Lakers franchise, and just go off with it in the next 10 years because LeBron is about to retire soon. So they gotta have somebody. And then they also acquired a center, Mark Williams, for the Charlotte Hornets. They traded off Dalton Connect and Cam Reddish to the Charlotte Hornets, and they got Mark Williams. Mark Williams is a lob threat. He is a great center, and that was a great pickup because they needed a center bad. So that team is actually a good team right now. They could actually go to the finals right now, and they also have a superstar for the next 10 years. So I feel like both teams won, and I just wish the best for both of those teams. But I want to move on with De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs for Zach LaVine, bro. Zach LaVine went to the Kings. De'Aaron Fox went to the Spurs. And I love this pickup. I love this trade for the Spurs, man. Wemby got a young point guard that he can team up with for the next few years. The Spurs can build around them too. And the way De'Aaron Fox plays, he's fast. And he also locks up. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a great pickup for the Spurs. And then Zach LaVine to the Kings. I don't know how I feel about that. Zach LaVine to the Kings. I don't know how I feel because DeMar DeRozan, he plays like the 2 and the 3. Zach LaVine plays the 2 and the 3. You got Malik Monk that plays the 2 and the 3. Like, they all like need the ball. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know how I feel how that team is gonna be. The team is still gonna be relevant. Don't get me wrong, but somebody gotta play point guard. I probably would put Malik Monk at point guard, but who knows? They might put Zach LaVine at point guard, but I feel like the Spurs won that trade definitely because Wemby definitely needed a all-star caliber player to team up with because Chris Paul's getting old. He's going to be retiring. He's basically being a mentor to everybody on that team because, you know, the team is majority young. So they needed somebody to like be right there with Wembanyama. And I feel like the Spurs won that trade for sure. And let's look back at my notes. I already talked about Mark Williams to the Lakers. Jimmy Butler headed to the Warriors, man. Jimmy Butler is out of the Heat, man. After all these years, after going to the finals twice, while he was in the Heat, of course losing to the Lakers and losing to the Denver Nuggets, but he was always he wasn't the favorite in both finals. Everybody had the Lakers, everybody had the Nuggets in those finals, but he brought his team to the finals twice, in the bubble and outside of the bubble. So shout out to Jimmy Butler, but him going to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, I don't know how I feel about that one, man. All my friends, they all hating on Jimmy. They said Jimmy's toxic. Jimmy don't know how to get himself together. Jimmy is this, Jimmy is that. And I feel like the only way the Warriors can work this out is if Jimmy is being Jimmy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Jimmy has to be Jimmy. Jimmy can't be like this toxic person that don't know how to fit in the team. Like, he should want to fit in with the Warriors because the Warriors is like a fast-paced team. They pass, they play together. It's not like a one-man team, but Jimmy Butler, I gotta see how he plays with them. I really gotta see because, of course, I can rely on him on defense a little bit. I say a little bit because he's getting older in age, but I just got to see how the Warriors play with this man because it can go wrong, but it can go right. And I feel like if it goes wrong, they might trade him because he just agreed on like a 2-year deal, and so he's locked in for 2 years, but they could trade him. But I got to see how this plays out. I got to see if they move up in the rankings. But Andrew Wiggins to the Heat, I love that. I love him going to the Heat. Playing with Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. That team is like kind of young. I ain't going to say old, but I ain't going to say young. But that team has a new fresh start. They have new people coming along. And Andrew Wiggins going to the Heat, I like that. I feel like he needs that Heat culture in his life. I feel like he needs that Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra type of coaching in his life. So he can like get himself together when it comes to intensity, like him being like, you know, showing intensity. And he could play, don't get me wrong, he could play, but sometimes he be slacking off. And I feel like playing for the Heat is gonna get him going. Definitely. So I feel like the Heat won that trade. But let's go to Dennis Schroeder. Like Dennis Schroeder going in that trade, but he'll shift off 3 times. He was shipped off to the Heat. Then the Heat shipped him off to the who did Heat ship him off to? The Wizards, I think. I think they shipped him off to the Wizards, and then the Wizards shipped him off to the Detroit Pistons. So if I'm Dennis Schroeder, I'm like, dang, nobody wants me. It seems like nobody wants me. Like, Dennis Schroeder is a great point guard. Don't get me wrong. He's a great point guard to start with and to come off the bench. And the Detroit Pistons probably needed him. Cade Cunningham probably needed a backup point guard. And Detroit, I could see Dennis Schroeder playing for Detroit. Like, I could definitely see him playing for that team. And Detroit is actually a great team. So if I was Dennis Schroeder, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be mad that I landed in Detroit. So that's where Dennis Schroeder went. And let's get to Brandon Ingram. They finally freed my man. They finally freed him for the Pelicans, bro. But now he's locked up with the Raptors. They shipped him off, man. They shipped him off off the United States. They shipped him off to Canada, bro. They shipped my man off to Canada, and I don't know how I feel about that, man. I know Brandon Ingram's probably mad. I know he's probably pissed. He got to pack up all his stuff. He got to go to Canada. He probably got to get a passport. He probably already got a passport, but, man, I don't know how I feel about that one, man. Because, like, the Raptors, they booty cheeks right now. They young. I don't know, bro. They probably needed somebody that could, like, get their own bucket. You feel what I'm saying? Like, somebody that could close out games. And I guess Brandon Ingram is a good player for that, but I don't know how I feel about him going over there. I feel like he should have went somewhere like the Heat. I'd rather have Brandon Ingram on the Heat than Andrew Wiggins on the Heat. You feel what I'm saying? But he landed in Toronto, and that's where he's gonna be at. So I can't wait to see his debut over there. I'm gonna check them out as well. But I want to also talk about Jonas Valanciunas going to the Kings, playing with Domantas Sabonis, because Domantas Sabonis and Jonas Valanciunas be playing with in the Olympics or in the FIBA tournament. I think they're from the same country or something like that, so you got chemistry right there. And the Kings actually got a center, so Domantas Sabonis can go to the 4. You feel what I'm saying? You got Jonas Valanciunas at the 5. Domantas Sabonis at the 4. And you can have DeMar DeRozan at the 3. Zach LaVine at the 2. And Malik Monk at the 1, man. And I don't know, that having Jonas Valanciunas probably boosted up that team, but that team can't play outside. It's gonna be hard for them to play outside because Jonas Valanciunas can't play outside. He's like a big. Like he's a original big. He's not a big that can just pop out like Anthony Davis and Victor Wembanyama. So they gonna be good in the inside, but when it comes to like fast pace and the defense gotta and then they playing against an offense that are spread out and all 5 is on the outside, it's gonna be hard to guard them. Like Jonas Valanciunas is gonna be a liability, just like Rudy Gobert. You feel what I'm saying? That's why the times when Utah didn't go far, or the Timberwolves didn't really go far, because Rudy Gobert don't know how to play on the perimeter. He don't know how to guard on the perimeter at all. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about these trades, man. Tell me how y'all felt in the comments about these trades. The biggest trade that I feel like went down was, of course, Luka and AD, and then De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs, and then Jimmy Butler not being on the Heat no more. Those are the 3 teams. Those are the 3 trades that I'm excited to see. I still haven't seen AD on the Mavericks. I still haven't seen Luka on the Lakers, and I can't wait for their debut. I seen De'Aaron Fox's debut, but I have not seen I said De'Aaron Fox, Lakers. I have not seen Jimmy Butler's debut yet. He has not had his debut on the Warriors yet, but I can't wait to see those 4 players play on their new teams. And I definitely can't wait for the big main trade that happened with Luka and AD. I can't wait until Luka plays the Mavs in Dallas, bro. Because, like, you got to think about it. They traded him. So Luka knows that they didn't believe in him. So every time Luka plays the Mavs, he's going to have vengeance. He's going to look at them and just be like, I'm finna score 60 on their head. Because I'm not playing. I'm not playing at all. So I can't wait to see those teams. Tell me how y'all felt about the trade, about all these trades. Tell me how y'all felt in the comments, because I was shocked about all of them. Because this is one of the biggest trades I ever seen. Like, these are one of the biggest like trade deadlines I ever seen, bro. Like, all these trades happening, I did not expect. And then KD was in rumors as well, but KD refused to be traded to the Golden State Warriors. He was not interested at all. He didn't want to reunite. He didn't want to play with Draymond. I don't think it's nothing against Steph, but I feel like one of the reasons was because of Draymond, of course, when they had that little scuffle, that little beef. But at the same time, he probably wants to prove himself without winning a chip with Steph. He probably wants to win a chip where they say, okay, he won that, but he had these group of guys with him. Not him and Steph won that. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how I felt about those trades. But I see y'all on the next episode. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all comment. And of course, y'all gonna see my next guest on my podcast on the next episode. And I can't wait for y'all to come back. So I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.